actually a really great time to study information because we live in an unprecedented time of access to all the world's knowledge, right? We have literally everything available at our fingertips. And quite literally so, right? If people are on their phones, they can access the world's knowledge. We have this access to all this information, but for some people, this is clearly not a utopia. This is really a dystopia. But what's really important here is you want to have two kind of properties that are, pretty much central to this. That is, if you have two questions that are kind of similar as part of your scale or as part of your profile, do people actually give the same or similar answers on them? That is, are they not just completely confused? And then do they tend to give the same answer when you ask them again a month later? That is, or do they answer consistently? Because you're trying to pick up something that's sort of inherent and fundamental to the person, not something that's transient and changes every day. And then you also want to make sure that the answers people give actually correspond to some kind of behavior that they engage in. That is, it's not just what they say on a survey. It actually affects the kind of decisions they do in their daily lives. And so the way we went about this is we ended up with 11 scenarios, which are hypothetical settings where people can choose either to learn or not learn information that's potentially relevant to them. In fact, in general, this desire not to know ranges from about 20 to 45%. So we have this kind of range where there's some disagreement, but it differs by item that you see. So the first one you just saw was about interpersonal characteristics, like how do people evaluate you? And the other two are personal finance and health. So these seem to be domains that really matter for individuals. It matters for their outcomes. And it could be things where information is painful and people might not want to know. So the answer here is yes, kind of. So it's not all the same. It really matters what dimension you look at. But at the same time, it's not all widely different, right? So people seem to have a kind of type. It's not a function of demographics. It doesn't come down to your gender or your education. It comes down to your preferences, the very simple things that economics has long thought about. If you're unwilling to take risks, you don't want to risk getting bad news. If you're OK with uncertainty, then you also want to learn. And then these hypothetical scenarios actually are able to predict these consequential choices, even when the choices themselves have nothing to do with the hypothetical scenarios that they answer to. Now, if you actually got curious about this scale, because I've only given you one of the items, you can actually just go to this link and do the whole thing yourself. And then if you want to, you can see how you compare to other people in your group.